Pokémon is one of the highest grossing video game franchises of all time. Like most people, it has been a part of my childhood. But Pokémon is rising in popularity once again, especially Pokémon challenges, which offer new, refreshing and fun ways to tackle the games. So I thought I'd try one of these challenges for myself. Can you beat Pokémon Fire Red without taking damage? Why Pokémon Fire Red? I don't know, mainly Gen 3 nostalgia. As I hit the game, I am greeted by the Pokémon Professor, Professor Oak, who introduces me to the world of Pokémon. I immediately get an existential crisis when he asks me if I'm a boy or a girl. I panic and pick girl. He then asks for my name, and here comes the second crisis. So your name is Cassie? Yes. He then asks me to come up with a name for his grandson. I wanted to try my luck at a random name, but it defaults to green. Lame. And so begins my Pokémon adventure in the region of Kanto. Given that this is almost a one-hit everything run, I decided to pick Charmander, so that I would have a bigger challenge for the earlier gyms, and so that my rival will get Blastoise, the tankiest of the three starters. I think I'll call him Hamilton. But Hamilton was a girl, and I did not want to delete the universe from the information paradox, so I reset. This will be my starter, and what better way to celebrate the beginning of an adventure than with a friendly rival fight, right? This turned out to be a bigger obstacle than I expected. To win, I need my rival to use a status move every single time, or for him to miss a tackle, which is only a 1 in 20 chance. This took me a good 30 minutes. It surely doesn't help that when the battle starts, the old man lectures me on how to fight, every single time. That got old very quickly. I also forgot to tell you that I am playing on an emulator, and I allow myself to use the speed up tool, to avoid dying of old age when I'm going through a rough part of the game. Eventually I managed to get the KO. I save and move on. What a painful start. What I didn't realize when I started this challenge was that this would apply to every wild encounter. Every time I knocked out a wild Pokémon, I would have to save and look for another one. After some grinding, I give Professor Oak the parcel, get the Pokédex, and make my way to Viridian Forest. On the way there, I catch some Pokémon that, spoilers, I am not gonna end up using for the rest of the run. At least the trainers there were no trouble thanks to my fire moves. Brock would be different. I, however, had a plan. I caught a Pikachu, and didn't name it because Pikachu is Pikachu, and a Mankey, which I named after its only purpose. After a significant amount of grinding, I get my team to level 15, and beat Brock with no problem. Luckily, Geodude likes to use Defense Curl, and Onix, although fast, goes down to a single low kick. I then make my way to Mount Moon. Some of the trainers there introduce me to this run's true rival, priority moves. Quick Attack will end up being the reason for the vast majority of my failures. And the only way around this is to reset until they decide not to use those moves, or at least during this part of the game. I catch a Jigglypuff and name it Ball. Then the game crashes. I managed to catch a second Jigglypuff, which I named Ball 2, of course. But this was not the Pokemon I was looking for. That would be Nidoran Male. I named it MVP, thinking it would carry me through the rest of the game. It didn't take long before it evolved into Nidorino, and with a Moonstone I found on the ground in Mount Moon, it became a monstrous Nidoking. I then took the Helix fossil, and you know that this is the most important part of the game, and end up in Cerulean City. Now I could try fighting Misty, or try my luck at the rival fight. I chose the latter. And of course, the bane of my existence, Pidgeotto knows Quick Attack. Fast forward to level 19, neither Pidgeotto nor Rattata use the Devil move, they go down. I even misclick and use Quick Attack on Squirtle, but I get lucky and knock it out. I can move on now. I managed to catch an Abra on the first try, and name her Clover because that was crazy lucky. I then get the SS ticket from Bill, but not after struggling my way to him, and thought about fighting Misty. I decided to postpone it. South of Cerulean I catch 5 Meowths for the pickup ability, and let my creativity go ham on the names. Clover then joins my team as soon as she evolves to level 16. I use the trainers on the way to Vermilion to level up my Pikachu. Only at level 25 does Misty become somewhat smooth. Stormy is always scary, but it goes down to a lucky critical hit. I board the SSN and murder my way through the ship. Not even the rival was a problem. I get the HM cut and immediately fight Lieutenant Surge. I had taught my Nidoking Dig, and ended up sweeping through his team, getting my 3rd badge. Next, I go to Lavender Town, but I'm scared of it, so I bypass it and get to Cerulean City. I embrace the inner Team Rocket in me and steal this guy's Eevee. I came up with a ludicrously hilarious name, Noeropov. Try to figure out what it will evolve into. Vaporeon, I bet you didn't see this coming. I get the HM Fly and started grinding. It turns out that even with a level 27 Charmeleon, Erika is not a one-shot sweep. At level 34, Hamilton learns Flamethrower, and you can probably guess that at this point Erika became a cakewalk. 4 badges down. The Rocket Hideout was not eventful enough for me to write about it in a script, but by the time I got to Giovanni, this is what my team looked like. Only Kangaskhan posed a bit of a threat, but with some evasion luck, it was manageable. I get the Silph Scope and get to the Pokémon Tower. The rival fight there is always underwhelming, but at least I catch a Ghastly. I thought about just calling him Fart, but I'm not that childish. Much better. While fighting, Clover leveled up to level 37 and what is going on? That startled me. I forgot that I was on a ROM that allowed impossible evolutions. I cleared my head and reverted to an original Fire Red ROM. Back to the game. I clear the tower, get the Pokeflute, use it on a sleeping monster, of course I ran away, and cycle to Fuchsia City. I wasn't strong enough for Koga's gym, so I ran through the Safari Zone to get Surf and some golden teeth. Gross. I had to train for the next gym, but oddly enough, not for Koga himself, but rather for the other trainers in the gym, which are significantly harder than the gym leader. Koga was a rather disappointing sweep with Clover. To be fair, I was kind of overleveled, but with Psychic it would have been a sweep even at level 36. But a disease was spreading through my save file, possibly due to the switching of ROM in the middle of a run. Some of my Pokemon lost their ability, including my Charizard, Raichu and Haunter, along with some of the pickup Meowths. I thought about restarting the run, but since the situation only made things harder on me, I embraced the challenge and kept going, but I had to hurry before things got out of control. So I started fighting my way through the Silph Company. The Rocket Grunts were just a joke, but the rival number 5 was a huge wall. Pidgeot wouldn't stop using Quick Attack. This is where Farty McFly, dope name, came in clutch. Thanks to him, I was able to beat Green and challenge Giovanni for the 2nd time. He was unsurprisingly much easier than Green, being perfectly countered by Farty McFly, Meropop and Clover. After saving Saffron City, I tried to battle its gym leader, the psychic trainer Sabrina. Quick side note, I never bothered to learn the teleporter pattern, so every time I challenged the gym, I would go in random directions hoping to eventually reach Sabrina. This time, it didn't take long. I was expecting harsh resistance, since my only good option was Farty McFly, which is weak to Sabrina's Pokemon. I was especially afraid of Alakazam, which is a meat grinder in Gen 1, but it goes for Future Sight, allowing me to get the KO. Hamilton is easily capable of dealing with a Venomoth before Future Sight hits, and the 6th badge was conquered, on the first try too. My plan was to keep this team train going, and stomp Blaine too, but he has some fast Pokemon, and my Vaporeon isn't fast enough to keep up. Growlithe and Vulpix are not a problem, but there's no way that I can outspeed Rapidash, and Arcanine is just a monster. Time to grind. Between the Pokemon Mansion and the gym trainers, Meropop got to level 50, and was finally able to outspeed and one-shot Arcanine after Rapidash missed a Fire Spin. I was ready for the last gym badge, but Fire Red being Fire Red, I am forcefully dragged into everyone's favorite waste of time, the Sevi Islands. Or so I thought. At the time I didn't know that I could just skip it, but whatever. I basically have to follow this very original storyline, by saving a little girl and bringing her back to her father. Brilliant. Now that that's out of the way, I can get the 8th gym badge, and if Giovanni wasn't a problem before, he is surely not gonna be a problem now. I used Noerapov on his Rhyhorns, and Clover on Dugtrio and the Nidos, and it's a quick GG. One last obstacle was between me and the Elite Four, the, spoiler, second to last rival battle. Pidgeot at this point is no longer a threat, since I have a Haunter, but his Alakazam could have destroyed me. I played the risky move of trying to use Mega Horn, and luckily it went for Calm Mind, so I was able to beat it. I got even luckier with Blastoise, getting a full paralysis with Thunderbolt, giving me the knockout. Then I used Noerapov for Rhyhorn, Hamilton for Execute, and again Vaporeon for Growlithe. Next is a quick walk through Victory Road. Most trainers are optional, so I had no trouble getting to the Indigo Plateau. The end was within my reach. The Elite Four, in theory, sounded easy. Raichu and Hamilton for Lorelei, Clover and Noerapov for Bruno, Clover and Friday McFly for Agatha, and Noerapov with Ice Beam for Lance. In practice, things were much different. The level gap was bringing my team down. I had to rely on some Thunder Luck, and for them to use certain moves. After almost 2 hours of sped up fights, I decided it would be best to power level. So I took individual members of my team and grinded them to level 60 with the pickup artists in my party. Catching them made things a lot easier, since I had stocked up a significant amount of rare candies over the course of the playthrough. This solved every problem I had. Almost. I made the mistake of teaching the only Blizzard TM to MVP instead of Noerapov, which made the Lance fight considerably tougher. But let's go in order. First is Lorelei. Dewgong is a potential one-hit with Thunderbolt. Cloyster is an easy one-shot. Slowbro is another potential one-shot. Lapras is not a one-hit with neither Thunderbolt nor Thunder, but likes to use Confuse Ray, so I gave Raichu a Person Berry to cure the confusion and allow it to get the KO. And Jinx is a close one-shot with Flamethrower. Next is Bruno. He is always the easiest of the four, even at lower levels, but at level 60 he is no problem at all. He starts off with an Onix, which is an easy one-shot with Surf. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan both go down with Psychic. The second Onix is the same as the first, and last comes his Carry Machamp. I was afraid he might not have been a one-hit since he's so bulky, but it turns out that he is, giving me a clean victory. Then the scariest of the bunch, Agatha. She gave me a lot of trouble at lower levels, but now she's just a clean sweep with Psychic. The key was outspeeding her super fast Gengars. Last is the mighty Lance. He is the reason I decided to level up to level 60. He is manageable even at a lower level, since his first Dragonair loves to set up with Safeguard, his second one loves to paralyze your Pokemon with Thunder Wave, and his Dragonite also likes to use Safeguard, but his level 58 Aerodactyl is a damn speed demon, and he wasn't going down without a fight. I was only able to bring it down by barely outspeeding it with my fastest Pokemon, Raichu. This is as far as I had gotten so far. Now comes the champion battle. Good news, his Pidgeot no longer has Quick Attack. Bad news, his Arcanine now knows Extreme Speed. Yeah, I found that the hard way. First is Pidgeot, a Thunderbolt takes it down. Next is Rhydon, a quick one-shot with Surf. Then Exeggutor is a one-hit with Flamethrower. Blastoise is a potential one-hit with Thunder. Alakazam is barely outsped and knocked out by a Shadow Ball, but Arcanine needs to be put to sleep, and I need for it to stay asleep, just enough to allow Noerapov to get the knockout with Surf. The battle is finally over, and I am now the new Pokemon champion. I enter the Hall of Fame, and the credits start rolling. And just like that, I had beaten Fire Red without taking damage. This run was painful at times, but I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. I am really looking forward to trying out different challenges.